Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sergey Baklykov, and there behind the camera my friend Sergey Pichugin, as always. And this is the Real Russia reality video blog on YouTube. We continue telling you about the real life in Russia. Let me to remind you that we live in Ufa, Russia. That's the Bashkirian state of our country. We live on the border of Europe and Asia. And right now I'm driving into the graveyard because it's 3 years from the moment when my grandmother, the mother of my mother, died. And I'm going to visit her grave, and also I decided that it's a great possibility to show you how the Russian graveyards looks like. We are right on the border at the entrance of the graveyard. You can see a lot of flowers you can buy here, and we stopped by that to buy the flowers. So 200 rubles for these 2 flowers, and now we will go to my grandmother grave. So we came to my grandmother's grave. That's she is. As you can see, she died 3 years ago. We coming every spring here, that to paint everything, because as you can see, the memorial closer to autumn becomes like this. It's full of corrosion, so every year you need to paint it again and again. Also, here is a lot of the weed on the ground, and all the time you need to remove this weed. So we're coming every spring that to clear everything. But anyway, no matter how you will try, anyway, closer to autumn, everything will grow up again. For the reason the winter is coming, I will do nothing right now regarding painting or so, but in the spring we will come, me and my mom and maybe my father, and we will paint everything and we'll get everything in order. For now I will only place the flowers, and unfortunately I have to break these flowers on a half, because it's terrible to say, but some bad people, some cheats and bastards are coming all over the graves and just stole the flowers for sale. So if I break it, they will not take it. I really love my grandmother. She is the mother of my mother, and she actually gave me a lot of education, and she was taking a lot of care of me. And she's real strong woman who devoted all her life to her kids and grandkids, to me and to my brother, who you don't know yet. And now let me to show you, to tell you more about the Russian graveyards. I don't know what is about Europe, but in America I've seen many times in the American movies that your graveyards doesn't look like this. You only have the ground there, the green grass, and only just a little stone. Here is, we have first thing, the fence, an iron fence, the memorial, an iron memorial, of course with the photo and with the caption, who it is, when was born and when died, and the ground. You can see that all graves like this, no just grass and stones. So we have visited my grandmother and I feel really better now. But before we will leave this graveyard, I want to show you another one noticeable place on this graveyard. That's a place of memory of a lot of kids from my city who died 10 years ago in a terrible aircraft crash. So that's this place. This is the memorial and collective graveyard of all people who died 10 years ago in an aircraft catastrophe at the 2nd of July of 2002 years. That happened in a sky above the Germany, the city Überlingen, above the Bodens Lake. I'm sure you have heard about this because it was a real big story, big, terrible and ridiculous. And you know why ridiculous? Because it's really ununderstandable to me how in such a big sky two planes never find the place to get not just to meet. You know, just a little right or a little left, a little up or a little down, and it would never happen.
Peter Nielsen thinks he's averted a collision by telling the Russian plane to descend. But what he doesn't know is that the DHL pilots have received a TCAS instruction telling them to descend.
Increase! Dumoon 600, TCAS descent!
They're trying to tell Nielsen that they have a TCAS instruction to descend, but Peter can't hear them. If both planes obeyed TCAS, there'd be no problem. But the Russians, instead of climbing, have followed the controller's orders. Now both planes are diving towards each other.
He's going below us! Fuck, what is it? Get on the left! Increase climb. Increase climb. Climb, it says! Climb! Descend! Fuck, descend hard!
The tail of the DHL clips the belly of the Tupolev, tearing it apart.
Over 70 persons died, and the weirdest thing that there was 52 schoolers, 52 kids who died in that catastrophe. The most of them was from Ufa city, and they was going to the Barcelona, to the Spain for vacation. For the most of them, it was the reward for their great education at school provided by the Bashkirian department of UNESCO. So it was actually very good presenters of the growing generation. You know, it's really bad. It's really bad.
In Ufa, in Western Russia, both Christian and Muslim communities are devastated by the loss of their children. In the cemetery, where 53 of the people in the Tupolev are buried, there are two double rows of gravestones with the Christian Orthodox on one side and the Muslims on the other. It's eerily reminiscent of the seating arrangement on the plane. The monument evokes a flight of paper planes frozen in flight.
There was the continue of this story. One Russian guy, whose name is Vitaly Kaloyev, lost his wife, his little daughter and his little son here. All his family. He came personally in 2004 to Peter Nielsen. He came to him and tried to show the photos of his family, his wife, his daughter and his son. Peter Nielsen pushed him and the pictures get on the floor, and it makes Vitaly real crazy and insane, and he just killed him. He got 8 years of jail, of prison, but finally about 3 years later he got the freedom. Another one interesting story, the brother of one of my friends had to go to this flight too. But recently, just some days before the flight, he came at home a little drunk, and his father penalized him and forbid to go on this flight to Barcelona, and actually it saves his life. Yeah, such stories about that flight and about this place. It's time to go from here, but just in the end of this episode I want to tell you, please remember all that people who died and who was dear to you, and even more, take care of that ones who is still alive. Live today, not tomorrow. That was the Real Russia reality video blog. See you.